I'm Dylan. I'm Isaiah. And today we're going to explain multiple things. First, it's going to be the peer system that we're going to do. There's a piece of paper on the back behind you guys. We're not going to get to that yet. First, what we're going to do is practice striking the ball over the net. So, first this is going to be practicing for the peer system, essentially. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, as you can see, there's purple and green poly spots on the ground. So the person is going to start on the green poly spot, and they're going to shuffle to the purple one and hit it over. So we're going to show you a demonstration of how that will do. So as the tosser, I'm not going to throw it directly to Zay. I'm going to throw it on this side. So you're going to shuffle over, and you're going to hit it over the net. All right? That's what we're going to do for the peer system. It's that simple. Anybody have any questions? All right, so we're going to practice that in the beginning, not the peer system just yet, and then I'll let you guys know once you grab a paper. Start getting it. All right, cool. Everybody grab a paddle.
Okay, make sure, once again, make sure that the demonstration is not a one-time shot. The demonstration is emphasizing what you're looking for. It sounds like you are working on the forehand. I don't know, it was not clear if it was the forehand and the backhand, or if it was only the forehand, since the demonstration just showed the forehand. Demonstration is not a one-time shot. Demonstration is you emphasizing what is needed. If you were referring to a peer assessment, what's the criteria in the peer assessment? Is it only one line? Is it only about hitting it forehand? I doubt it. So don't know why it was so short. So just know demonstrations are not a one-time shot. At the same time, this is a peer teaching. So you have a tosser and you have the striker. So I'm not sure then, if they don't have the sheet with them, in terms of what they're looking for, how is the feedback going to take place? Remember, peer assessment is the teacher checking that they can talk to each other and they can help each other. If one is going to become the coach, the other is going to become the performer. So right now, there's going to be no coach, quote unquote, because there's no criteria. There's no criteria. So that's what peer teaching is. Yes, you use a peer assessment, but basically you are treating it as, okay, so you're going to be assessed by the peer. In terms of spacing, this I also don't like. It is very, very close to each other. If you're going to be working with the two main things, two main principles. When it comes to anything racket sports, that they have an extension of their arm, this is calling for accidents if you apply this way in elementary level. So no, in terms of the management of this, you needed to rethink the organization. It couldn't be like this. I did hear, we spoke with Saya, we spoke at the beginning that if you can use cones. I'm not sure why didn't you go that way. The cones would have then used all the space. You can look at all the space. You can have them spread out through all of this. You have some room here also behind me. Look at all this space here. So if that's the case, then use the space. Does it have to be like a net this wide? No, because you're modifying it, right? It's just going to be about the striking of the forehand and the backhand. So again, not sure what the thinking was in this place. So in terms of being a peer teaching, again, no criteria in front of them. They didn't make sense of what that syntax is all about. You don't have a coach. They're just tossing. And then this is so overcrowded right here. So this is a managerial issue right here. So in terms of the strategy per se, that section is going to be points deducted there. In terms of even content knowledge, because again, there's no feedback here from the coach. It's not there. I can see that they are doing some individual feedback. They're addressing it, as you can see, but is it related to the peer assessment, which is supposed to be? Well, they don't have it. They haven't seen it. So yeah, several observations about this lesson. Remember, peer teaching is all about is the process profiting from itself. They get a peer assessment. You're going to demonstrate what is expected. You are going to demonstrate what is expected performance-wise and what is expected in terms of the process. What each one is going to say to each other. That's what you're going to be encouraging. And in besides encouraging, you're going to talk to the coach and see, because you're going to be making observations, but you want the coach to address that. So, for example, let's see, what can I see here? I see that there's no follow through with Christina. So the teacher will say to Josie, tell her follow through. I didn't see the follow through. For example, Patrick was using a lot of force before. Well, then if Alejandro was the coach, then the teacher goes to Alejandro and said, no, tell them to decrease the force.
And you're assessing, everyone is starting on the green. Over here, you're starting on the red. With the exception, we have if you're a left-handed player, then you will start on the purple, on the opposite color.
You cannot be talking while everybody's walking to get the paper. You gather them, they get the paper, or either before they go get the paper or after. But you have to gather them, don't talk while they're moving to get something.
Grab a pen, all right? So you're getting 10 shots. You're getting 10 shots, all right? So make sure you either write down they successfully hit the ball over the net, or they did not. All right?
If they hit it over, as you can see on the piece of paper, it's 1 point. If they don't hit it over, it's 0. Make sure to tally it up on the bottom.
Keep the ball in bounds.
Once you get back to your court, you can start.
Perfect, right to you.
Well, I saw Alejandro moving quite a bit between the spots. I don't see the same movements from the others. I see that the movement is also limited here, so not understanding why there is a difference. See here, there's this lateral movement, quick feet towards the other side. I don't see that with the other ones. So there is a difference there. Again, peer assessment, peer teaching includes a peer assessment. Peer assessment is to be understood at the beginning of the class. The understanding comes from the teacher's explanation and demonstration. Along with that, in terms of the informing part, the teacher should say what is it that the expectation is in terms of the management of it all, or is about the coach, quote unquote, giving information about the task. So then the class starts, the practice starts, and then the teacher pretty much floats around, quote unquote, seeing that the coach is appropriately addressing what is needed in terms of what is written on the peer assessment. Peer assessment is also not necessarily used for a grading or points or anything like that. It could be just part of the process. So they have it, they practice it, but then when the teacher says, okay, if you feel comfortable to start assessing, then start assessing. See, so we wouldn't be talking about those fundamental observations about peer teaching. Again, the whole purpose here is for the students to feel that they have this level of ownership on what they do, that they can do this between them with the guidance of the teacher. That's pretty much in essence is what this type of instructional approach looks for in groups of, in this case, in groups of two, is peer teaching, right? See, for example, Joseph there is laughing because Sal just missed the hit. There was no teacher saying anything here. I see the teacher walking around there. I see that there are some hits that are good, but the teacher is also not providing the feedback. Two minutes.